Por las calles ruleteando con los plebes en modesto me la paso.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Thanks for tuning back to the channel. As I mentioned on my last video, this is the day that I will be changing my front bumper. I have the SS bumper from Street Concept 1, and you know, I'm kind of skeptical on how it's gonna look. I've never been a huge fan of the SS bumper, but lately I've seen a lot of really badass trucks that have it. And you know, I'm thinking if I can go in there and do a little bit of fine-tuning to my style, maybe like building a custom lip or something, that would definitely set it off. I'm gonna be doing the billet inserts on the whole thing, like I mentioned on the last video, and then murdering everything out. So hopefully everything together might give me the look that I'm looking for. So I am not 100% sure how that goes. If I have to, I don't think it's an overlay. I know for a fact I got to take this bottom plastic off. I'm gonna then test fit to see if I can mold it over this. If I have to take this off, then we'll go from there. I have seen some people that mount the bumper up all the way to the top of the paint of the panels. I don't like how that looks. I don't know what I feel like it's they tried too hard to cover that up, you know, that gap. So I'm gonna leave it with a gap. I want a gap just because I feel like it looks more stock OEM, I guess. I don't know, but the truck finally got a wash. Let me see. So yeah, guys, let me just start tearing some stuff down. I'm gonna be test fitting the parts on and off, on and off. I'm gonna go change because I don't want to get dirty, at least not on this clothes. So I'm gonna put on some other clothes, and then hopefully by today we got the bumper on. All right, guys, so I am just gonna put this over and see, let's get a rough idea what I'm looking at. So yeah, obviously, let me just take down the bottom plastic first. That definitely has to go. All right, guys. Took a little bit longer than I was expecting, but I got all the clips loose. Okay, it's a big difference. Big difference. So that piece is in there. Judging by what this feels like, I might not have to take off the top. Let me see. Let me pop this corner in place. Yeah, I'm there. It is. So right now it's over the upper cap. It's molding very nice. I was not expecting a fit like that, but it fits really good. All right, guys, so I switched over to my hand stick. Let me show you guys what it looks like. It's actually sitting very well. I gotta move this forward, if you guys can see, about ½ an inch, maybe 5/8. This side looks good though. Not sure what that's about. I'm guessing the bumper was sitting back. Never noticed it. I mean, I'm putting my hand behind here. Look at that. I'm trying to see if there's any areas. I can feel it right here. I can feel right here it's hitting against the upper cap because there's absolutely no wiggle. There's wiggle here. There's wiggle there. No wiggle here whatsoever. It's definitely touching. There's wiggle pretty much everywhere else. Right here again. So this is where the upper cap is touching. But you know what? I'm assuming, based on what I'm seeing right here, that it was intended to fit over the upper cap, because, well, if I'm not mistaken, this is an original replacement part, so I don't think it was intended to fit over a cap of the 03. What I'm trying to say is, on the original Super Sport, there's probably some kind of foam or something that sits underneath it that helps it hold up. I've never seen a gutted SS front bumper before, so I don't know what's underneath there. But judging by what I'm seeing, I mean, it's looking really good. I think I would probably leave this alone. I would just, like I said, I'd readjust my bumper a little bit so that all of these, so that, see how I gotta bring this up, this corner. This I already knew from before. I just never really mess with it. But I gotta bring this corner up, but then I gotta bring it out also. Oh, there. I'm not sure what it was snugged on, but it was something down here and it just snapped. You guys heard that? Let me see what it looks like now. Okay, it's still, yeah, that looks better though. I'm really liking how it's gonna look. I think I'm gonna leave it alone. I think I'm gonna leave that upper cap. All right, so right now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna remove the fog lights and I am going to put the vents in and show you guys the process of doing that. All right guys, so on the vents, this is what I'm gonna be doing. All right guys, so I went to Harbor Freight. I picked up this kit of U-clips. They're called U-clips because they fold into a U. And these actually are intended to clip on into here. So there's one that goes in here, one that goes in here, and one that goes in here. So what I'm going to be doing right now is sliding it in place. I might have to clean it up a little bit because it's got a little bit of a jagged area right there. So let me clean that up real quick. So I'm just going to use my grinder with a little soft pad just to kind of clean those little edges out. Much nicer. This one looked fine right off the bat, so we'll leave this one alone. Yeah, that's a lot better. So this is basically what I'm gonna do is slide this in. These things are pretty hard though, so just be careful and be aware that you got to put a lot of pressure onto these. No, I want it more in the center, so I'm gonna go ahead and sand that down a little bit more. Because they're too fat basically. They're too fat and I want these to slide in there very, very, very well. So I'm gonna sand this down a little bit more. It's one of the bad things about having to mess with stuff that's aftermarket. You always gotta adjust and readjust things. All right, so we're getting close. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take my my step bit and I'm gonna drill a hole roughly where I feel like this should be. So this should be right around there. So I'm gonna drill a hole right in the center right here. Let me change over because this is a 3/16 tip and it has been used so much it's not even funny. This one's brand new, so think I'm good with that. It looks like it's a 3/16 hole. I'm gonna do the same thing to this one right in the middle. Okay, we are good. This is the only one that I'm kind of concerned with because that one won't sit in the middle. That one is, well, if I do it this way, it will. So it would be right around there. So yeah, about 3/8 right there. There we go. There we go. All right, guys. So there it is. In and out perfectly. Make sure that if you sand these down a little bit, don't go past this area, because then you'll see the sanding, or if you cut into it, you'll see that cut. So make sure that you don't pass that. So that's what you want right there. So I'm gonna finish these off too. The feeling. Oh, there, it's only 2. Yay, that was easier than I was expecting. All right, guys. So since we're down here, I'm gonna go ahead and fit this vent and see how that looks. Hopefully I get it closed. Lined up. Is this one? What do you guys think? I mean, it's only got 2 and it's pretty well gripped on there. I know that once I put that third one down here, this will not move at all. See how right now it's tilting up and down a little bit? That won't move. I'm just concerned with that distance right here. I don't know if that's how they are. The original one, I never actually paid attention, but this is all, decently seamed in there. I mean, it looks pretty close. That is. Now to take off those clips. Let me show you guys what I was talking about. I don't know if you guys can still see it. See right there? That's pushing the plastic down. This plastic should be fully flat up against that top of that bumper. So I gotta remove those. And they are a pain in the ass. Well, that one's easier because it broke, so that was pretty easy. Gotta make sure it doesn't stay down here. There it is. There, now it's perfectly flat up against there. Nothing in the way. Everything else seems like it's clearing pretty well. I'm down here looking at the bumper. I don't see any issues, any reason for any kind of other than moving the bumper forward on that driver's side. I don't see any other issues. So what I think I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna put a bolt in here. Keep this plastic perfectly bolted to here. I just have to see the other side to make sure that. Oh yeah, no, I should be able to clear because the vent doesn't have a tab on that side, so the bolts would be behind the vent. All right, guys, so I got a little bit ahead of myself. The battery just died a few minutes ago. Well, like 10-15 minutes ago. That's when I was putting on that vent on that side. So then what I did, anyways, I just grabbed the little billet inserts because I wanted to see how this is gonna look, and it looks freaking awesome. I love the way it looks. So let me explain to you guys what I meant about those little grills. Right there, it's touching on this corner. Up here, it's touching on the corner. What I'm gonna do is grind that little corner like at a 45 on both sides to where it's nice and snug in there, but it's not touching anything. I don't want it to be rubbing on anything. So that's what I meant. See how this side I already bent it? This side, this other piece, let me try to compare them so you guys can see. I'll put them next to each other so you can see the difference. See how one of them's sticking out straighter than the other one? That's where you got to start bending those brackets out a little bit to get that curve so where it inserts in a lot better, you know. So let me show you guys what I did. See what I trimmed here, because the way that they welded it straight. So you see how it's supposed to be at an angle? It was hitting on the top. That doesn't allow hardly any play. Now there's a little bit of play. And I also trimmed all 4 corners, just so that those little corners aren't touching on all the edges like that. So it's a lot better, fits a lot better. Now I just got to make sure that I put it in right. All right, guys, so I already changed out these lights, the ones I had mentioned. I'm not gonna keep these for a long time. I just wanted them on right now because those red ones definitely threw the whole look off. The bow tie is obviously gonna get painted a different color. It's gonna be blacked out. That's the whole point of the whole build. Also, this one, let me show you guys. It's cracked right here. I mean, this once you paint this, you really wouldn't see it, but the issue with these lights is that the backside, I guess somebody had kind of opened up the holes a little bit more, because since they're aftermarket, they had a tight fit. So I don't want them. I bought them regardless, just because they look clean, and you know, and I like the LED stripe through the center. But I mean, 40 bucks for full set, I couldn't pass them up. But anyways, I'll probably smoke them out, and if I'd like them, I'll keep them. But I'll see. So one issue that I was having with this bumper, there's a plastic piece down here that is putting tension up against here. I'm not sure if you guys can kind of see it. It's right there, that little piece. This piece is over that, so I gotta see how on that corner it's pushing it up. I gotta see if I just remove it. So I gotta take off the bumper cover back off again. Tomorrow I'll finish this up. What I'm gonna be doing is building a little bracket for the corner right here, a little bracket right there that bolts up to the bottom of the bumper. And I believe I'm gonna take off the grill and the headlights, because I believe I can put some screws down there on these tabs. So those tabs that are right there that you can barely see with the hole, what I'll be doing, there's another one right there. I'll just weld a little piece of flat bar from my existing bumper out that way and drill a hole right where those tabs are. That way I can bolt it down. So it'd be 2 of them and 2 of them on that side. Let me show you what else I did. can barely see the, where is it? I put 3 holes on the existing holes that are on here because it has like, I don't know, 7 holes. I drilled one right here, one here, and one here, and I bolted it up to the actual bumper. You can kind of see it. Look there. Let me try to put the right there. There's one bolt right there. There's another one right there. You can see it. And the final one is right. I can't see what the other one. Oh, right here. I'll move out of the way for the camera to catch it. Right there. You can barely see it. Right there. What I did with that, I just marked it with a Sharpie while the bumper cover was off without that billet insert. I marked it with the Sharpie on those 3 areas, and then I took off the bumper cover and drilled the hole. It's 1/4 inch. That way I could bolt those 3 areas. So technically the bumper won't fall off right now because it's already bolted down in the center. So one thing I did notice, and it kind of sucks, is that since this drops a lot more than the original one, I hate when I turn all the way. But I'm gonna have to, I don't want to trim this, so I'm just gonna have to deal with that. The second I hear a little bit of rubbing, I'm gonna slow down and back up and turn some more, just because I don't want to trim that. That's gonna be an issue right now while it's lifted, but I'm gonna try to drive it as little as possible. Technically I probably wouldn't even need to drive it, but I do want to showcase that rack that I'm building so I could sell it while it's still lifted. So yeah, that's the only other issue. Like I said before, oh yeah, and I gotta move the bumper forward on the other side. I'm not worried about the bumper sticking out like this because of the hit, because I'm gonna be putting covers right here. So just reminding you guys. All right, so I'll pick this back up for you guys. It'll be in a couple of seconds. All right guys, so I removed the front grille and some of the headlights. Let me show you guys what I was talking about. This plastic right here, this plastic is intended to cover up that gap right there. Actually the plastic is right there, you can still see it, but right now it's being pushed down because of this bumper. Because technically it still hides. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna trim obviously I could just trim this, but I don't want to do that. I would rather just trim or notch out the plastic so that it could be brought up to the right area around these pieces. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and basically cut about a ½ an inch down and then all the way across so that this whole piece can be brought back up. So let me show you guys what I mean. All right guys, so I removed pretty much everything off of the front end again. I loosened up all the bolts from this bracket, so it's got this one here and here, and then two on the bottom, one there and one there. In case you guys are wondering, these were off of some light pods that I had put on a previous video. So the trucks, actually this is the wiring for it. This is the wiring for the fog lights, which I'm gonna remove everything. But now that I loosened those up, now this comes up where it should be. At the same time, this plastic that was stuck underneath there, it popped right out. So see, now it's free. Let me show you guys how I did this side. See how I trimmed that right there? I'm actually going to trim it some more to where it's perfectly flat, because the bumper cover sits on this. So I want to make sure that it's completely clear on these two little spots. So I'm going to do the same thing to this side. You could take a grinder or anything, but I'm just using a knife just because the plastic's super soft, so you can cut right into it. All right, guys, so I am done. All right, guys, so I just got done with the install. I ended up coming to the store just because, as you guys saw, my neighbor was out there cutting his trees, making all kinds of noise, and then he was blasting music, so I didn't get a chance to. It's not that I didn't get a chance; it was just a lot of noise. So I wanted to show you guys with no noise what full install looks like. So I ended up putting the brackets after all down there, just because I didn't want the bumper to be loose, you know, as I'm driving it around. Once I drop it on the floor, I'll be able to I guess tidy everything in properly. I want to make sure that the bumper doesn't get damaged as driving it down here. I can feel that if I crank it all the way, it rubs a little bit. Let me see if I can show you. Yeah, actually I got a couple little scrapes on it. You can see that right there. Luckily it's not damaged too bad, but it's definitely not something I want. So I'm gonna have to use the truck anyways for the next couple of weeks. See, on this side it's not bad. That's because of there's literally no damage on this side. That's because of the bumper being kind of hit on that side. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna try to push that corner out more. Ultimately, I love the way it looks. I can't wait to see it painted. One thing I'm gonna do is get another set of those plastics that go in there, because you can really see them. So what I'm gonna do is just make a little slot like this in the inside, and then slide the plastic piece inside. That way you can still that whole back piece is covered all the way through, and the bolts are behind that, so you can't even see the bolts. What can I say other than did those two brackets on the outside. I did the two brackets on the inside. Let me show you guys how I did those. I don't even know if you can see that. Yeah, you can kind of see. So I did these two brackets here and here, on that side too. That's nice and strong. It keeps the bumper from moving at all, like nothing. It doesn't move at all. It's got the 3 bolts in here, and it has the 2 screws up here. And if you look at it from the outside, you don't see anything other than the bolt here, and actually the bolt down here, you can barely see it. Those I'm gonna end up painting them black also, just so that they don't stand out like a sore thumb. But again, everything is gonna be murdered out. The billet inserts are all gonna be painted. I actually like how they look right now. I might not paint them right away. I might just paint everything else and then leave the billet inserts in chrome. I'm not sure, but I'll probably end up smoking everything out. It's just easier. Yeah, guys, so it took me 2 days, and actually it was starting at around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So it took me probably roughly a total of about 6 hours roughly. And I was just taking my time, back and forth, a lot of test fitting. I didn't put any screws down to where it just kind of helped and left it alone. Nothing like that. I didn't want it, and I didn't want anything to be seen on the outside. So everything that I did on it either looks OEM or is braced up properly, so you can't really tell. I painted the bow tie black also. I don't know if you guys noticed, because the red one was kind of ugly already. Next project, I have the twinkle lights that I want to do. I'm not sure if that'll be on the next video or maybe 2 videos down the line, but I have everything already. Another thing I want to do is start working on the center console. Center console is probably going to take me the longest, because I'm still not sure how I want it. I have an idea. I have to finish installing my seat. Let me explain to you guys what I'm going to be doing here in the next couple of days. It's got a mess in here because this thing's been moving around. This seat has to be braced down properly still. I haven't got a chance to brace it because I had the amps. that panel back there, I had the original one, but I took it off because I don't want to have to paint it, and it was a tan one. So now what I'm going to be doing is getting a black one or a dark gray one, slapping it back there, mounting my amps back here, painting all my plastics. All of these plastics will be painted. I got some other ones, and I got to finish painting a couple little spots. But once I have this seat bolted down, then I'll be able to work on the center console and get an idea on how I want to do. I have to finish my bezel because I literally had just finished it right by Sencal takeover, and as I was prepping it, getting ready to do a final wet sand, I dropped it and it cracked on 2 different spots. So I was super upset because the bezel had been left alone for literally 6-7 years. I never touched it after it being cracked, and then I go and fix it, and then I drop it literally that same day. So pretty upsetting stuff. But let me see, the headliner and all of that stuff, I'm gonna leave it alone. It's the black ostrich also to match the seats. I got the TVs. I got to rewire these TVs. I don't know if I'm gonna go with another drop down. I don't really want it because when I had the sound system on here before, it used to just knock it down all the time. I don't know if you guys noticed the last videos, but I had 2 S15L7s back here with a custom back seat / box. Put a picture on the screen right now so you guys can see what it looked like, and that was a monster system. It destroyed the inside of this cab. Like, it would just destroy my drop downs. And I want to go something subtle. I don't know if you guys follow me on Instagram, you already know what I got, but I got basically the full system is going to be Scar audio, and you know, cross my fingers everything works out well. I got most of the parts, most of the speakers, and hopefully everything works good. All right guys, so that concludes the video. I hope it was helpful. If you guys have any questions, put them down in the description. I'll try to get to them as soon as I can. I will try to post at least once a week. It's not really, you know, I got a lot of things going on, but I'll try my hardest. This next video, what I have coming up, actually, it's a little bit of a lot of different projects put together. In other words, not a lot of projects, but a couple things. I had in mind making a video on the seats. I had in mind making a video on the carpet, and I didn't do a full video on that. I did small clips, and then for some reason I never recorded the full thing. So I'm gonna do like a little mashup of some of the things that I did in the last couple of months to this, and at the same time kind of show you guys what the inside is gonna end up looking like. It's gonna hurt me to drop this thing, I'll be honest with you, because I'm used to being, it's not lifted like an insane lift, but it's lifted, and you know, it's just one of those lifestyle things. Like, I've always been into low and drop trucks, and I think that I won't regret it at the end of the day. Once I have everything done, I'm pretty sure once I see this thing back on 20, or not, it was never on 26s, it was on 24s, but once I see this thing back on the ground, and then with the bags, I guarantee you I will not regret it. But if it comes down to it, I'll pick up another truck later on and lift that one with a nicer lift, an actual 4x4, because this is a 1500. So let me just do a quick walk around of the truck. All right guys, so thank you guys for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, I haven't mentioned it a lot because I just started my Etsy, my Teespring account. I do have an Etsy account also. Look up Street Riders 209. You should find it if you want to get some stickers. If you want to support my channel through either purchasing merch for the TCD brand, you can click on the link below. It's for the Teespring, my Teespring store. That means a lot to me if you guys do, or the Etsy, and hopefully you guys start rocking some of the TCD mob apparel. And Once again, guys, thank you guys for watching. I will put all the links for this bumper on the description, like I mentioned earlier. The only things I won't put is like the hardware, because you know, that's, you could just go to any hardware store and buy the stuff. But I'm talking about the bumper, the vents, and the grill inserts. I'll even put the cheapest I found of the insert for there, the stock one, not the billet inserts, in case that's what you guys want to do and you guys don't want to go with billet. And hopefully that helps you guys out instead of having to go on a wild goose chase on finding an SS swap. So I might continue the SS build with the moldings on the side. I'm not sure. We'll see how that goes. But a big shout out to Street Concept 1 for that bumper. If it hadn't been for the hookup, I would have never bought it, honestly. And you know, now I'm super happy with the way they came out. So I'll see you guys on the next video. Thank you guys for watching.
Ahí seguimos, pero pa' adelante, compa, que hay niveles. Seguiremos trabajando si se puede, disfrutando de la vida y sus placeres.